Okay, so we've got the recording going. Welcome everybody. Welcome Naya. Hopefully you can see everything well. All right, so here we go. It's 1 o'clock. And we'll start doing our cool stuff. So we've got, this is really the end of just learning how to draw shapes. Next week, we've got two last little things to do to talk about when we do drawing and editing. And that's how to place things on your drawing and how to use different line types to show different things. But today, we've demonstrated how to do most of the commands. So we're just going to buzz through those. And so here's what you've been asked to draw so far. First shape, stars, interlocking squares, woven squares, O-snaps, and triangles. And so if you were to go back and do those all again, each one, if it took you 20 minutes or 30 minutes on each one should take you about half that time. So maybe 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. And if you went back and did them again, you'd be getting them down to maybe 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And if you did them again, down to 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. All that practice is worthwhile. Speed is good if you're accurate. So I'm just going to buzz through these and kind of do them, and that's going to be the lecture today. But I'm going to do it in a slightly different way. So I'm going to look at first shape. And I'm going to take a snip of that first shape. And I'm going to put it on the Jamboard. And so what we see is everything down here is horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, bump, 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 up. And then I got a weird line that I don't know the angle of. So I'm going to draw horizontal, vertical, and then draw another little line. And then I'm going to draw horizontal, vertical, and draw a line. And I'll get rid of those lines. Horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical, horizontal, up. And here's another one. Horizontal, vertical. Draw my line. Get rid of those lines. Horizontal, vertical. So I could do this whole thing with my O-snaps on and just read the dimension. Go over 2. Here. Up 0.5. Go down over 0.82. 0.5. 0.68. 3.16. 1.
Professor, I can't see your screen.
Who is that? Is that Naya?
Nia?
Nia? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like you're still loading.
It says I'm streaming. So double click on the little thing next to the microphone or to the speaker that says waiting room for, we're in, well, that's part of the problem is I've got us in the waiting room. I'm going to do it down here in the right one. Okay, my stream is running. So double click. Do you see right next to me where it says live?
I can see it now.
Okay, Okay, we were just in a weird one there. All right, there we go. Good. Okay, so we've gotten over to here, and I go over 1, go up 1.34. Now here's the weird one. That distance is 1.5 minus 1, so that's 0.5. I got to be able to know what that distance is. Over 1, down 1 point. Okay? So you guys got that? That's how I'm going to draw it. So let me turn on Autocad. And let's make that drawing really quick. So I don't need that drawing. And let me get this a little bit bigger. It's hard with multiple screens. Normally I really do have multiple screens. Start a new drawing. Get rid of my grid. Turn my ortho on. Start somewhere. Go over 2, up 0.5, over 1.82. And I'm just dragging and typing. Down 0.5, over 0.68, up 3.16, over 1, up 1.34. This is why it's good to have kind of looked it over first. I got an idea. 0.5. Now here's that weird part. I'm going to go over 1, down 1.34, and come back to there. And I'm going to delete those. And then I'm going to go up 1.34, over 1, down, and delete those. Now this time I go over 1, down 1.58, over 0.5, down 0.5, over 1.5, down 0.86, over 1 and down 1.06, and connect that weird angle back up. And Jake, go ahead and mute because I'm getting some weird feedback. And oh, this is what's great. This was supposed to be over 1.5. And I know that I can just move that. Move. There we go. Got it. There we go. So that's how we do that one. And then remember, I talked a little bit about the layers and making the line weight bigger so that it looks better. So there it is, but I have to turn on the line weight. Oh, that looks pretty good. And I can snip that. Copy it and put it in my portfolio on the right page. There we go. That's pretty cool. And remember I said that if we wanted to do the time command, it would tell me that it took me 3 minutes and 5 seconds. So if you could get it down to 10 minutes, that'd be pretty good. If you get it down to 5, that'd be pretty good. So I'll hit save and I'll go stars demo 2. Got it. Now I can close it and start a new one again. Now let's take a look using the Jamboard at the next one. Wrong Jamboard. Right Jamboard. So I'm going to clear this one. And I'm going to take stars. So I need a snip of the stars. And what I notice is everything on this one is at a 45-degree angle. Or a multiple of 45. That's 90 degrees. 2 times 45. That's 0. 0 times 45. That one's at a 45. 45. 0, 90, 45. And all the ones that are at 45 are 1.4 long. And all the ones that are up and down and sideways are 1 long. So that lets me draw this one. And then over here, I notice they're all 30 or 60, but guess what? That's 30. That's 30. That's 30. 30. 30. So if I put this one on 30, then I can just start drawing and everything is 1.0 long. Okay. Let me give that a try. And I said I didn't really care where I start. So I'm going to set this restrict angles thing to 45. And it's on. There's 45, 1.4. And personally, what I'm doing is I'm holding the mouse with my right hand, and I'm using my left hand to type on my number pad. One point four, 1, 1, 1.4, 1.4, 1, 1, 1.4, 1.4, 1, and down to close. And I'll do the same thing just because I can, and it's good to practice. There's a way to do this so that it keeps that. Oh, that looks good. And then I suggested that maybe you draw a line out this way to get started on the next one. And these ones, I recall what I just said, they're 30s. Sorry, I'm getting myself set. Okay, so draw a line, 30. And it's 1 long. 1. Except I didn't go straight. I was sloppy. I'm just using these little things where it snaps into place. They're all one long. Delete that. There's my cool picture. And there we go. Well, that one took me almost 6 minutes. There's 2 of them there. So you want to be, the more you do these, the better it is. You'll get faster and faster and faster, and it's really good. Okay. So that's stars. I better save that. Save. Oh, what did I name that other one? I must have named the other one the wrong thing. There we go. So I'll close that one up. Okay, our third one is this woven square thing, right? So let's pull the Jamboard up. Now this one's interlocking squares. Okay, so again, I see a square, and I'm going to use the polyline, the rectangle command, because then I can offset it to make my inside square. And it tells me right up here, I got to look around for a while. 0.50 typical, that means this distance, this distance, this distance, this distance, all these distances are the same as 0.5. So that's an offset command. Real simple. And the squares are sitting with a gap of 1/2 inch. And this one here tells me that the squares are all 2.5, these 4 squares. And this tells me that the main square is 3.5. And then I can find this corner point by coming over 1 inch and up 1 inch. And placing it right there. So that gives me a clue how I'm going to draw this thing. So here we go. Start a new drawing. Turn that off. So remember there's this rectangle command up here. Rectangle. Here's the thing. I have to say from where I'm at. I typed the at symbol. 2.5, comma 2.5. 2.5 horizontal, 2.5 upwards. And then I can offset that thing by an amount of 0.5. And if I click on it and I move my mouse to the inside and click, there we go. So now I can make a copy of those things, right? Copy. And remember I said I'm going to put it right there so I don't have to add and subtract, because then I can move it 1/2 inch to the right, which was on my drawing. And then I can do that process again. I'm going to do it with both of those. Here's the cool thing. Anywhere I click, if I move it up 1/2 inch, goes, okay, got them. So now I need this one that's 3.5 square. rectangle from where I'm at, 3.5, comma, 3.5. 3.5 horizontal, 3.5 vertical. Offset, 0.5 to the inside. I'm going to draw over 1 inch and up 1 inch. Notice what I did there. To get that little line, I did a left to right because I knew it would pick up just what's inside the box. And I can do the same thing here. Okay. Now, I would normally save because I just did something good. And I think I'm supposed to trim now. Remember, I said I trimmed little bits at a time. Select all the stuff that you want to trim around and hit trim, enter, and those get cleared and those get cleared. Enter, enter. When I hit enter, it redoes a command for me. Enter. I've selected. I think I want to do that thing with my layers again. Sorry. Cool. A little over 4 minutes. And of course, I do this blazing fast because I've done it hundreds of times. But it's all about practice. And this gives you great practice at certain commands. So I suggest you practice until you get it down to about twice what it takes me. 10 minutes would be pretty good on this for this point in your career. Save. Ugh, this one's got a lot more. But it's still possible. So let's take a look at the Jamboard for this one. So I'm going to draw a line 4.18 long. And one 4.18 long. And then I'm just going to copy, 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 copy. And then I'll do the same thing here. Copy, 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 copy. So on and so forth. And then I'll start erasing. but it's the trim command, not the erase command. See how that works? That one's pretty sloppy right there. So it's all about just trimming out what you don't want. And you can just look and see the parts you don't want. But it's easier to see here because I've got the template sitting under me. Okay, so that's the process. Start drawing. I'm going to be ortho. Everything is going to be going sideways. So I'm just going to make it easy. 4.18. Now there are easier ways to, I can copy or I can offset. Let me go offset 0.38. Click, 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 click. I click on it and then to the side, on it to the side, on it to the side, on it to the side. On it up, on it up. Trim. Oh, I got something wrong there. No, I don't. There we go. If I wait too long to save it, so watch, I'm going to do something here. I can do undo one at a time. If I use the undo down here. If I do the escape, it loses everything that I've done recently. Okay, so okay, so you see how that works? That was about 3 minutes, so this should take you about 9 minutes. Because I just did a third of it. Okay. I'll do the same thing with my layers. Line weight, 0.028. Snip that and save. Save. That one is interlocking squares. Woven squares. Guys all hanging with me okay? This is all review. I'm hoping it's all review. But it's really good to see something a second or third time so that you sort of get it. The more times you see something, the better it is. The more you can practice, the better it is. Okay, remember this one, I said I was going to start with a square. And then I was going to trim the corners off. That's called a chamfer. Chamfer. And then the way I did it is I drew this little line, and then I copy, copy, copy. And I drew this little line. I did copy, copy, copy. And then I used my end point O snaps. And then I did my midpoint O snaps. And then I did a copy and a copy. And then I did endpoint O snaps. And then I did midpoint O snaps. And then I did offset. Cool, huh? Okay, and then I did these. So let's see what that looks like. So I'm going to start with a box again, where I'm at 5,5. It's a 5 by 5 box. And then I'm going to chamfer those ends, those corners. And I'm going to make it by distance. And my distance is 1.25 on one and 1.25 on the other. Click, click, enter, click, click, enter. And enter redoes my command. Enter. Draw 1.4, not 1.42, 0.42. Copy. Now I'm into typing mode. Redo my copy command. Bring it over there. Draw a line. Copy. I'm going to check my O snaps, midpoint. Yeah, I don't really need perpendicular. I need my endpoints though for sure. And then I need my midpoints. And then I need this 0.42 again. Taking the top ones now. And I can do my endpoints again. Huh, wasn't that cool? How I made that box? What did I do there? I did my box command, and my O snaps are on. So I can make the box from the middle corner at the bottom middle corner at the top. Now I can do my offset again, which I just typed. And the offset is 0.42, so I just typed. Click. And now I'm just doing endpoints. And I'll do that layer thing again. 0.28. Line weights. So hopefully this is all just sort of like looking common. That you know what's going on, that you're happy with this. You go, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. You're just seeing how these things go. And you're seeing how I think about it one more time. So the last one for this week, we have a few more little drawings to do next week, but nothing big. Actually, it is big, but I'm not going to scare you about it. Okay. So where are we going with this one? Draw a triangle. I'm going to use the polyline command again, and then offset it. Copy it to here, and then move it over. And what I do is I move it over to this point. So I draw a line that's 1/2 inch long, and I move it so that I copy it so that this point here is right here. Then I just draw these two lines up, and where they cross is right there. So I'll copy this thing again, and I'll put my top corner at the top corner. Now, if I make a new triangle, right like that, it gives me the information that this is a 1/4 inch in. So I can offset that triangle to get this. And then it tells me it's a 1/4 inch in. So I'll offset it again. Then I'll get rid of my original big triangle. So I don't have to think too much, because I don't know how big this is. I actually don't know how big that is. Somebody might be able to figure it out. Okay, so I think Jake, you were able to figure it out, but I don't know how big that is, so I wouldn't know how to scale it.
Mr. Schuster,
Yeah.
can you look over my drawings that I did, my workspace drawings that I submitted over Adobe?
Not right now. Right now I'm doing the lecture. I can do that in the lab.
Okay, thank
Cool.
you.
So it'll be about 20 minutes, and we'll take a
Okay,
look at
thanks.
it. Cool. Okay, so bingo. There we go. That's how I'm going to do it. And then I trim. So, get rid of my lines. And remember I said I'd do a polyline. Makes them all one. Oh, and my angles need to be 60. 30, 60. Okay. $2.5. $2.5. How did I know that? 60, 60, 60 triangle, all sides are the same. These are some of those things that you'll get to remember. You probably heard that once in your life and said, "Bah, I hate this stuff." Well, it's important to know. A 60-60 triangle, how are the sides? 45-degree triangles, how are the sides? 30-60-90 triangle, how are the sides? So try to think about those things a little bit. Offset, 0.25, I'm typing. Click, click. Copy. Oh, not yet. I have to draw a line 5.25 long so that I can put this corner over here. Copy. Now I just have to go my 60, 60. Where they connect, I'll copy my other one. I don't think I got that. Why didn't I get that? So that went wrong because I didn't have my intersection set. There we go. Now my intersection is set and I can copy. So you're always got to be watching. Oh, now it's snapped in. I can get rid of those two little lines. So here's where I have to go with my next one. Click, 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 click. I have a triangle. Now my next triangle is offset 0.25. And it's got 1.25. And I drew too much. I'll get rid of what I don't want. Now I know that's the right size because it's 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, 0.25, and that's the information that I was given. So I did exact. Now there's other ways to do it, but I think that's the easy way. Trim. And I need to get rid of those two lines, and those two lines, and those two lines, and those two lines, those two lines, and two lines. There we go. And I'll do the same thing with those layers again. Oh, and I'm glad I did that because it made me realize that I forgot to get rid of that thing. There we go. 4 minutes. So each of these should take you about 10 minutes if you have learned well the commands that we're asking you to get down. If you're down at 15 minutes apiece, you've pretty much got it. If you have to watch what I do and copy it, click, 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 you haven't gotten the thought process down of how to draw these yet. And you should really try to get to the point where you understand why I'm doing it a certain way. Okay? So there we go. So cool. Sorry, I'm looking for my correct screen. There it is. So now remember, you've practiced this a bunch, how to make your module submittal. Let's take a look. This is your assignment list. So you need to go here. Where do you find that? Portfolio check print. And it says, this is not yet due. It will not be graded. But I'd like you to put it in there so that I can check it over. That's really when I want to do my checking over, because you still have a week to get it right. Okay, that's my preference. But if you have some real questions, I'll go ahead and take a look at them during the lab, no problem, and I'll do that. Okay, your best practice is to submit early and often, because next week we've got a few little things. So I really do want you to do this. Now, another thing that you're going to want to do is your professionalism. And remember, that asks you if you have posted to the board yet, the discussion board, and replied. You do that every week. Every week. You don't have to post everything. You need one posting, and you need to reply to one thing. Okay? So please be sure that you've done that. So that's how you do those. Just come into here, portfolio check, go to the link, and submit. Okay, there's a submittal button in here on yours. Okay, so the preferred method is to download, print, save to PDF, take that module. Doesn't matter for sure. This is your grading criteria. This is how I'm going to grade it. Not this time, but at the end. Some of you might go, wow, I might get a thing that says, wow, this looks pretty good, no changes. If all your files are technically accurate, size is right, the shape is right, the layout is right, drawing convention, blah, 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 which is pretty simple on this one, you'll get 4 points. If most of them are right, you'll get 3 points. If some of them are right, there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So most is like 4 or 5. Some is 2 or 3. If any of them are missing, if you only submitted 5, or most of them are technically inaccurate, you'll get a 0. Okay? But remember, this week, wrong one. This week, module is not due yet. Module is not due yet. Okay? So there we go. I think I ran through those sort of fast, but hopefully in a way that you could see them and understand them, and it is being recorded. Remember, those recordings are there for you. Next week, I'm going to show you how you can work together to make those recordings very useful for you. But I'm not going to do that this week. I'll do it next week, and you'll be able to do some reviews. Okay. So I want to just show you the next part. Oh, I'm on the wrong one there. There we go. Oh my gosh. This is what you're going to do next time. So I'm just going to give you a really brief overview of what we're talking about here. And you don't have to do it. You got the week. You got the whole week next week to figure this out and get it. And action, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to do part of it. So I'm going to take a snip here.
Okay, it's working.
I wanted to hear the grading.
Okay, I'll go over that in the lab with you, Jake, because that's a good question. Okay.
Mr. Schuster, I'm having internet connection difficulties right now, and it's hard for me to hear you. Can you send me an email about the grading?
Well, I can, but look, it's right here. It's in the module. So I want you to read it first and then ask me a question about it in an email. Okay, read it first. There it is. It's in the thing called submittal for grading.
Two of my drawings, I wasn't look very close. I mean, they're most of almost all, actually, if not almost all of my interlocking squares and my triangles are very, very close. At least, is that how many points would I get from that?
You'll get a lot if you've done a really good job. See how it says most shapes are technically accurate. Okay, so if you've got 6 shapes and one of them has like 30 parts to it and you're missing 1 or 2,
I have all the parts. It's the measurements. See, it was hard for me to make mine look exactly like yours because
I'll take a look at
it was evenly. Yeah.
I'll take a look at it during the lab. Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
And you have all next week too. Okay. It's due for a check on Sunday. So if there's something wrong, I'll see it on Sunday too, and you'll have a whole week to fix it.
Okay, thanks.
Cool. Okay, so let's take a look at this. That looks like the front of the thing, right? Doesn't that look like the front? And I can draw that front flat. And then it's called an orthographic view. And I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it goes up 2 and over 3 and up 2 and, oops, I'm short 1 there. Over 3 and down. And so if I were to color that in, if I could see that green thing flat, it would look like that. And that's what orthographics means. Okay, so we're going to practice looking at some shapes and drawing them flat. Now, let's take a look at this next part. This thing right here, that's if I was standing on the right side of that part and I looked at that little shape, I would see that. And not only that, I would see that this corner sort of lines up between these two views, right? In the green, that would be a corner and a corner. I could start right there and I could go up to over 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what the red part would look like if I was standing on the right and I was looking at it flat. Now here comes the cool part. There's this thing. And this takes a little bit of a mind trick for you. When I look at that from this direction, it's kind of the same shape as this, right? It sits right on top of it. If you were looking at that block straight on, it would just look like this square, this rectangle, is sitting right on top of this rectangle. I don't see the fact that it's back behind it because I'm looking just flat. Your eyes are spread apart, so that you can see in stereo. But if you squinted and winked and looked at it with just one eye, straight on, perfectly straight on, you couldn't tell how far away this orange part was or this red part. So it would look like it was just sitting right on top of it. And if you were standing on the right, that's what it would look like. And if I was looking down on top of it, I would see it over here, and the edges kind of have to line up. So I'll come up here. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 3. That's what it would look like, looking down at it from the top. I'm standing on top of it, looking straight down. And then my last little one, I'll do this, I'll do it black, I guess. Again, if I squinted one eye and looked straight down, I couldn't tell how far away this is, the black, or how far away the blue is. So I just match them up. That's an orthographic drawing.